Okay, in the previous video, we just did our export settings, and now I want to talk about triangulation and kind of what that is and why, in my opinion, you should apply a triangulate modifier to your mesh at least before exporting so you can see the result. So what is triangulation? Well, here I have my cube. I'm in edit mode, and I just realized I forgot to enable screencast keys. There we go. So there's my select. Currently, we have a cube that consists of simply faces. Now, what's actually going on behind the scenes is this face that has 4 points, 1, 2, 3, 4, is actually two faces. It's actually a triangle. So what we can do is, if I go to Modifiers tab, Add Modifier, I'll add a Triangulate modifier to this. And for this sake, I'm just actually going to duplicate it and hide the old one. So we have a Triangulate modifier. Let me apply it and go back into edit mode. We will see now I have two faces. Now, this can affect your shading and everything like that a little bit. Now, you don't actually want to apply the modifier when you're working. You just want to leave it there. So you're still working with potentially quads and n-gons. It's not actually going to clutter up your mesh that bad, because then you'll have to actually redo it. But this is actually the result of what you're going to get when you import into Unreal Engine with this. So even though this is quads inside of Blender, when you bring it into Unreal Engine or Substance Painter or Armor Paint, Marmoset, anything like that, it is going to triangulate it itself. So the software that you're importing it into is going to actually triangulate your mesh. So your quads and n-gons are going to get triangulated based off of whatever algorithm or however it's going to, I don't know how it actually works behind the scenes. However, it ends up getting handled by that piece of software. Now, that can lead to inconsistencies because Substance Painter, Marmoset, Unreal Engine, they could all handle this triangulation differently. So if you had a complex mesh with a bunch of n-gons, you could have some different results that, well, they might look great in Blender, might look great in Substance Painter. Bring it over into Unreal Engine, it could look like crap. There could be some shading issues. So what you would want to do is you want to apply a triangulate modifier beforehand inside of Blender or whatever your 3D package is. So that way it gets triangulated in one place. You can see if there's any shading issues. If there are, you can fix them, then export them out to whatever software, Substance Painter, then go from there to Unreal Engine, and it's going to stay the same because it was triangulated inside of your modeling software, one place. So it's not getting triangulated from 2 to 3 different pieces of software. Now, to give you an example of this, I'm going to go ahead and export this cube that is strictly just faces. As you can see here, it's just faces. Bring that right into Unreal Engine, and I just open up Gazzo. Normal maps are coming here soon. Let me bring it right on in, and I will open this up. So here we have our cube. You know, nothing fancy. If I click on wireframe and invert colors just to hide the, I don't know what you'd call that, you can see each face consists of a triangle. So there's two triangles right here, just like the one with the triangulate modifier that had been applied to it. So it automatically triangulated the mesh for you. Like there's no way to get around this. You're always going to be working with triangles. So that's why you would want to do it beforehand. So if we had any weird issues that might appear in Unreal Engine that didn't appear in Blender or Substance Painter or whatever texturing software you're using, you would know beforehand. So before you do all that work and have to make that change to make it look correct, you would be able to, identify it. So here, okay, great, everything looks nice. Export out to Substance Painter, works just fine. Bring it right into Unreal Engine, it's going to work just fine. It's going to be all the same. It's consistent. So that's why you would do that. So that covers the triangulation portion of this. And in the next video, we're going to cover up normal direction, or like the directions of your faces, which is a relatively common issue that I've seen, and honestly, I had myself when I first was just kind of learning Blender and couldn't figure out what was going on until I Googled it. But I'll just show you some quick and easy ways to fix it and see if you actually have these issues to begin with. So in the description, there's a link to a guy's playlist where he goes through and he does a pretty good job on making a HK 416 firearm. And he goes through it step by step, models each part. It's low poly, so it's simple to follow along with for beginners. And I would recommend you check it out. And as usual, if you want to help support me, I have a link to my Patreon in the description where you can also find my Patreon only Team Deathmatch series course written entirely in C++. If you have any questions related to any of that, anything that I'm doing in this video with Blender, anything game dev related, you can find my Discord down there as well. So feel free to join and ask away or just talk with other members of my community. And I will see you in the next video where we cover normal direction. See ya.